Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Northumbria Staff Wellbeing Team podcast. I'm joined today by my colleague / friend / work wife, Kayleigh Bradley. You'll probably know Kayleigh from lots of the social media that we put out as a team. She's the one always doing the peace sign and sticking her tongue out. We tend to make her do lots of that stuff and she pretends she hates it, but she loves it really. Hello, Kayleigh.
Hello, I do.
You do love it, really. So Kayleigh's going to talk to us about a lot of things that we cover in our kind of day-to-day role as activity and wellbeing coordinators, and she's going to go into detail about our Safe Fit and Well scheme, which is a referral scheme, which she will tell you all about. So Kayleigh, you were the first activity and wellbeing coordinator employed within our team. What was that like at the start, and kind of how has the role developed? What do you cover now?
So when we first started this role, it was just the very, very small amount of staff. There was only 2 of us in, and we, at the very beginning, we didn't really know which way we were wanting to take it. I was in the gym quite a lot, so we were doing memberships and inductions and things like that, doing a bit of everyone's kind of role. And then from there, it naturally progressed. We got some instructors in, then that developed into a class timetable we then had. And then we were offering the likes of personal training, reviews, that kind of thing, and offering up that memberships just so it's a lot nicer membership to have on offer.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it looked like to begin with. And then I think because I came in with a referral background, so I'm an exercise referral instructor, we kind of had this idea about the Safe Fit and Well referral scheme, and that kind of takes up a lot of my bulk of my time now within my role.
So tell us a little bit about the idea behind the Safe Fit and Well scheme and what it hopes to achieve for staff.
So I think we have started, and we fall under staff physio as well. We kind of fall under that. And with us having the referral background, we thought that a procedure, there's a lot of people that get referred to staff physio, that exercise is their medicine really, and they would, really benefit from doing a little bit of exercise. So we thought about the pilot, and if there's somebody who kind of falls into that category where they need a little bit of exercise to support that injury or to help that injury, then they could get referred within that pathway. The referral process is they would have initial kind of consultation with me, and because it's a pilot, we're doing a lot of questions around MSK problems and wellbeing problems, and then from there we would then do a 6-week program. So they would check in, we would do some exercise with them and see how they get on at the halfway point, and then at the exit at the 6-week point as well.
Kayleigh, if a staff member is sitting listening to this podcast and they've just heard you talk about Safe Fit and Well and they think that scheme could really work for me, how do they go about getting referred into that scheme?
So there's a couple of ways that you can do it. So you can be referred in by OC Health. If you're then referred in through by a manager to OC Health, then they would then go on the right pathway if it's an MSK or if it's staff psychology. Then that can be then referred into here. Or we've got a self-referral, which will probably come a little bit further down the line. Right now, the best way you can self-refer into physio, and you can self-refer into staff psychology, also OC Health, and then that's a pathway that'll lead into the Safe Fit and Well scheme. Yeah. Even if you just mention it as well, that exercise is something that you think may help anything that's going on, then that referral can kind of come through to us.
Yeah, and I think having that open conversation with your manager probably, if we can get the word out there about Safe Fit and Well, it would be great if people were then going to their managers and saying, rather than me take this course of action, could we have a look at Safe Fit and Well?
Yeah, and absolutely, I would always just recommend as well, if it's something that's really triggering in your mind, but you don't want to go down the whole referral pathway, but you think exercise would really help as well, just sign up to the membership as well.
Just come and see us.
Yeah, come and see us, and we can, within the membership, you can also have frequent reviews as well, which is something that one-to-ones and reviews. So every 4 to 6 weeks you can be checking in with an instructor as well. So even if it's something that has kind of got your attention, you can drop us an email as well for the staff gym.
Brilliant. And what's the response been so far? Are you getting lots of different referrals in now?
Yeah, so this originally started with MSK problems, so rehab problems, then they were coming in and we're working with that. But then that opened up to staff psychology as well. So exercise can be used as a medicine for mild to moderate psychology referrals. So we've opened that up as well, and that in theory there's huge waiting lists which are, we're really trying to kind of combat. And if we can help with them waiting lists, so if we can see people before they're getting to their occupational health referral, then ideally that's where we want to, if they can get to that appointment and they don't necessarily need that appointment, that's where we're wanting to be.
Yeah. And I think, we discuss all the time, don't we, how important it is to not just focus on physical health. So obviously there's a lot of bulk of the work of Safe Fit and Well is those MSK problems, but it's nice to be able to offer the service out to people who are suffering from mental health issues as well. I know you won't want to bang your own drum too much, but go on. Tell me some success stories from Safe Fit and Well, because I know there's a few.
Yeah. So we've had some really, really lovely ones. There've been great ones where people have managed to come back to work off the sick, but there's also been, I think, what a lot of the time is just really small victories that you get out of it. And it is a case of just having that extra support there about walking into a gym. Walking into a gym can be very, very intimidating. And just having that support there, just somebody standing there saying that what you're going to do isn't going to trigger off that injury. It isn't going to make it worse. It's actually going to help it. And that initial kind of check-in point is really beneficial. So yeah, we've had somebody come back off the sick, which was amazing. We've also had just little successes and of, they've got more patients, at home. So they've got time and that energy to go out with their kids on walks and do more family things. We had ones where the sleep has improved massively, which if you've got small kids, yes, if that is already an issue, and then if that's improving, that's a huge win, really. Yeah. So them kind of things are real.
All those little things that kind of improve someone's overall well-being it's fantastic. So are there plans to expand the scheme? How do you think it's going to look in a year's time?
So we are planning on opening this up to pre and postnatal as well. So me and you have both got a really, really good background in pre and postnatal, and it's kind of my little baby and your little baby, isn't it? We've got a real interest in pre and postnatal exercise. So why not open that up with our expertise and open that avenue up. So that is a new pilot that we're going to be opening up for staff, which has got loads of nice, exciting aspects to it, and a few perks for staff as well, which I think is needed. Yeah. And then we're also going along the lines of not necessarily more as for staff, but we're opening up a cancer pilot, which will be early diagnosis, before diagnosis, referring in and preparing that body for any treatment that is to come. So everybody will do know that any kind of cancer treatment does take it out of you, and if we can prepare that body before it goes through that, we're going to look to try and pop that in as well.
Yeah, I think that'll be fantastic to kind of dispel a lot of the myths around exercising while you're either having treatment or waiting for treatment. Really exciting and important stuff. So thank you so much for telling me all about Safe Fit and Well and all the other things that are in the pipeline. I'm going to just ask you one final question, which is something that I'm going to ask everybody who I have on the podcast, and it is, what is your favourite thing to do to improve your own well-being?
I think I know it sounds silly because I'm into this, but I love to go to the gym. That is my time to step away from the madness at home, step away from work, and just go absolutely crazy in the gym.
She is a hardcore trainer in the gym.
I do like to do that. That is my de-stress. That is my time to just jump around like an idiot, get nice and hot and sweaty, and
feel better by the end of it.
De-stress, absolutely. I would like to go more along your lines and get some more chilled out. Maybe exercise.
I'm going to get her to come to yoga with me one day.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on the podcast,
You're
Kayleigh.
welcome.
It's been lovely chatting to you. Thank you everyone for listening. To stay tuned to our upcoming podcast, make sure to follow our Spotify, our socials, and subscribe to our YouTube.